इतनी तन्हा हूँ कि साया है न परछाई है। रात रो रो के गुजरती है तो दिन मातम में कैद खाने में यूं ही साल कटा है बाबा। खा गए शाम के जिंदा में अंधेरे बाबा। जिंदगी मेरी दुखों से है इबारत बाबा। कैसी किस्मत ने दिखाई है मुसीबत बाबा। मैं जो रोती हूँ तो लगते हैं तमाचे बाबा। आपकी याद में रोना भी सजा है बाबा। खा गए शाम के जिंदा में अंधेरे बाबा। अश्क आँखों से निकलते हैं लहू कानों से। अब दरिंदों से नहीं खौफ है इंसानों से। एक मजबूर यतीमा पर सितम ढाते हैं। मेरी तकदीर में दुर्रों की जफा है बाबा। खा गए शाम के जिंदा में अंधेरे बाबा। आपकी तरह से रूठे हैं उजाले बाबा। कौन जिंदान से अब मुझको निकाले बाबा। तूने मांगा था दुआओं में खुदा से जिसको, अब वही बेटी है जिंदा में जफा है बाबा। खा गए शाम के जिंदा में अंधेरे बाबा। जख्म लाखों है कलेजे में दिखाऊं कैसे। मुझ पे जो बीत रही है वो बताऊं कैसे। प्यास लगती है तो पी लेती हूँ आंसू अपने। जुल्म के दुर्रे सकीना की फिजा है बाबा। खा गए शाम के जिंदा में अंधेरे बाबा। हाँ ये है शहर शाम, हाँ ये है शहर शाम, हाँ ये है शहर शाम। छोटी शहजादी का है यहीं पर क़याम। आज रोज़े पहर रोशनी सुबह व शाम। पुरसदारों का है मातमी असदहां। फट रहा है जिगर सोचता हूँ अगर कैसा तारीख था, कैसा वीरान था, कैसा वीरान था कल ये जिंदान था। बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ, बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ। हाँ ये है शहर शाम, इतनी वहशत के एक पल न गुजरे जहाँ, चीखती हो जहाँ सिर्फ तन्हाइयाँ। रोना क्या सिसकियों पर भी पाबंदियाँ, रस्सियों बेरियों तोक के दरमियाँ। बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ, हाँ ये है शहर शाम। सर खुले खाक पर गमज़दा बीबियाँ, उसमें कासिम की अकबर की असगर की माँ उजड़ी हुई खाली थी गोदियाँ। सबकी हिम्मत बताती थी ज़ैनब जहाँ, बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ। हाँ ये है शहर शाम, हाँ इसी शाम के बीच बाजार में बीबियाँ पत्थरों की थी बौछार में। खूह में डूबी मोहम्मद की थी बेटियाँ, हर तरफ शाम में जश्न का था समा। बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ, हाँ ये है शहर शाम, ये है शहर शाम। देख कर बिन्ते ज़हरा का यूं सर खुला, नोक नेज़ा से गाजी का सर गिर गया। हाय गाजी की गैरत का ये इंतहा, सर पटकने लगी सारी शहजादियाँ। बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ, हाँ ये है शहर शाम, हाँ ये है शहर शाम। एक कयामत सी दरबार में आ गई, जब सकीना कनीज़ी में मांगी गई। ना पदर ना चचा भाई भी ना दवा, तोड़ी सज्जाद ने गेज में बेनिया। बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ, हाँ ये है शहर शाम, हाँ ये है शहर शाम। दुख तरे हिंद बोली सकीना बता, कैसे दामन जला क्यों है कुर्ता फटा। ओढ़नी तेरे सर की गई है कहाँ, खैंची किस शकी ने तेरी बालियां, बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ। हाँ ये है शहर शाह, हाँ ये है शहर शाह। और एक रोज जिंदान रोने लगा, जब सकीना को बाबा का सर मिल गया। बोली अब आए हो तुम मेरे बाबा जान, इतने दिन दूर मुझसे रहे हो कहाँ, बड़ा रोई सकीना यहाँ। हाँ ये है शहर शाह, हाँ ये है शहर शाह। मोहम्मद वाले शहीद से कोई शमशीर का मजा पूछे, मरीज से कोई अदसीर का मजा पूछे, असीर से कोई जंजीर का मजा पूछे, यतीम से कोई दिलगीर, यतीम से कोई दिलगीर का मजा पूछे। हर एक का गुजरा जमाने में रंजो गम है, सहाना बिद बीमार, सहाना बिद बीमार सा अला। शहीद होते हुए बाप को पिसर देखे, अनी पने की है सरे पिदर देखे, जवान भाई का निकला हुआ जिगर देखे, फूफी को आंखों से बलवे, फूफी को आंखों से बलवे में नांगे साथ किसी नबी बना, इस तरह के अलम गुजरे जो इस मरीज पे तरह, जो इस मरीज पे तरह के सिवा गुजरे। शदीद तब में वो कांटों पे चलना बेकार, अरे पहन के बेड़िया हर एक कदम पे गिर पड़ना, मुझोर सितमगर हरम का शोर बुका, वो जिस्म ला करे आबिद, वो जिस्म ला करे आबिद वो सिवाय शुक्रे खुदा कुछ न कहते थे सज्जा, दुआए उम्मत यासी में, दुआए उम्मत यासी में रहते थे सज्जा। फिरा कांटों पर सजाद को बरगना पार, नबी के कुनबे को बलवे में ले गए आदा, जलाया खैमे नामों से सैयदे वाला फिरा के बलवे में जिंदा में, फिरा के बलवे में जिंदा में देख गए तमाशा देखने सब अहले शाम आते थे। हया से अहले हरम, हया से अहले हरम गर्दन, हया से अहले हरम गर्दने झुका सितार के बाद हुआ खैर से जो छुटकारा, लई से बाका सर इस यतीम ने मांगा, सरे हुसैन खजाने से हिंद ने भेजा। सवार ऊंट पे गुलबा, सवार ऊंट पे गुलबा हुआ पया लहर में राज गरीबों की हाय धरने चले। महे बतूल को पैवंद, महे बतूल को पैवंद वतन से ले गए। फिर है करके बानिए हुई भतीजे के हमरा ज़ैनब खरीब शाम जो पहुँचे वो दोनों नौहागर। लगाया बेचा ज़ैनब, लगाया बेचा ज़ैनब, लगाया बेचा ज़ैनब के गोश्त के सफर में ज़ैनब बेकस से छूट गए सज्जाद। दयार शाम में फिरा, दयार शाम में फिरा, दयार शाम में फिरा के लौट गए सज्जाद।
हेलो 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 हेलो
فاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الأصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام. ثم الصلاة والسلام وتحية والإكرام على سلطان الخلائق أجمعين وسيد الأولين والآخرين وخاتم النبيين وشفيع المذنبين ورحمة للعالمين ورسول المسدد والمصطفى الأحمد أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين المنتخبين الميامين الهادين المهديين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ولا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مخدمه فدا ولعنة الله على أعدائهم وغاث بحقوقهم ومنكري فضائلهم ومناقبهم وولايتهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. القول مني في جميع الأشياء قول آل محمد عليهم الصلاة والسلام فيما سروا وما أعلنوا فيما بلغني عنهم وما لم يبلغني. أما بعد فقد قال الله عز وجل وقل الحمد لله وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى صلوات محمد آل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد for the acceptance of this majlis and for the increment in its spirituality. Another salawat with your loudest voices on Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala the interpretation of Ziyarat Jamia Kabira. We were discussing the various aspects of the different phrases and the different words used in this one of the most important ziyarat that we have in the Shiite literature, and which is famously known as Ziyarat Jamia Kabira. And we started our discussion with the introduction of the ziyarat, and then we had a discussion on the word salam. What does the word salam mean when it comes in the different ziyarat and while we address the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And then we discussed on Ahl Bayt Nubuwwah, and we were discussing the various narrations and the various traditions which we have on the concept of Nubuwwah, on the concept of Nubuwwah. And we were trying to focus our discussion more on the narrations of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. As said yesterday, that we are actually, what we are doing is that we are trying to explain the tradition of Ahlul Bayt through the traditions of the Ahlul Bayt. We are actually trying to explain the words of the Imam through the words of the Imams. And what we are actually trying to do is, as narrated yesterday, we know that this is a difficult topic. We understand the complexity of this topic, that we have chosen for this year's discussion. But something which cannot be fully understood cannot also be fully neglected. So we are actually trying our level best through what we are not trying on we are not basing our discussion on our intellectual capability or our knowledge, the knowledge which we have. We are actually trying to look at this narration. We are trying to utilize this narration. Practically, we are trying to follow this narration, wherein, as narrated yesterday, our Imam said to Abu Khalid Kabuli, Ya Aba Khalid, Nurul Imam fi qulub al-mu'minin adharu min hadhihi shams. O Abu Khalid, the light of an Imam in the heart of a believer is brighter than the light of the sun. We are actually using that light to understand the Kalam of Ahlul Bayt, which is actually the Kalam of Ahlul Bayt itself is a light. Kalamukum nur. Your words are light, your words are nur. And we were discussing, we were focusing on the narrations of the Ahlul Bayt. Why? Because as I'm continuously referring to the point, that the narrations of the Ahlul Bayt which we have are guidance and guidance, are nur and nur, are light and light. As there is a narration, Usul Kafi, if I remember it correctly. A man came to our sixth Imam, Kashif al Haqa'iq, Quran Natiq, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi and said, "O Imam, there is a person who is a devout worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He spends his nights on the prayer mats. He's a devout worshipper. Continuously, he's in a state of worship. There is a person who is a devout worshipper, and on the other hand, there is a person who narrates your ahadith, who narrates your traditions. Then who is better?" Imam looked at him and said that the narrator of our ahadith is better than 1,000 worshippers. Salawat on Muhammad and Ali. This is similar. The narrator of our ahadith is better than 1,000 worshippers. Laylatul Qadr khayrum min alf shahr. The night of decree is better than 1,000 months. The narrator of our ahadith is better than 1,000 worshippers. So we were actually discussing through the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt. We were trying to understand Haqiqat Muhammadiyah, which is hidden in this word Ahl Bayt Nubuwa wa Mawdi' al-Risala, that the location of the message and the household of the prophethood. And we reached our discussion yesterday. It ended on the point that the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam are the location of the message. They are the location of the message. Mawdi' al-Risala. In what sense? The sense itself is explained in the Zarat-e-Jamia, where we read that the Ahlul Bayt, who are the Ahlul Bayt? Safwatul Mursaleen wa Sulalatul Nabiyyin. Sulalatul Nabiyyin wa Safwatul Mursaleen. The Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam are what? The Sulala of the prophets and the Safwa of the messengers. Yesterday our discussion ended here. The Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam are what? Sulala of the prophets and Safwa of the messengers. And we explain, I'm again repeating that example which I gave yesterday for those who were not present yesterday in yesterday's Majlis. I'm just repeating it once again so that everybody is on the same level and we start our discussion for today. Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam are what? Sulala of the prophets and Safwa of the messengers. What does the word Sulala mean and what does the word Safwa mean? Sulala is what? Through an example, like for example, we narrated this example yesterday. Like for example, if I pluck a few petals of rose and then boil it and then have the rose water is what? The rose water is the essence of the rose. The rose water is the gist of the rose. The rose water is the summary of the rose. And this essence of the rose, which is the rose water, is what? It is the Sulala. This rose water is Sulala. It is purified to a certain degree. But if we take that very rose and have its very concentrated solution before us, until and unless we get the itra out of it, we get the perfume out of it. That itra and that perfume is what? That itra is the safwa, a very purified essence of the rose. An extremely purified extract of that rose. This extremely purified extract and essence is what? It is Safwa. The Ahlul Bayt in Zarat-e-Jamia are what? The Ahlul Bayt, according to Zarat-e-Jamia, are the Sulala of the prophets and Safwa of the messengers. You have 1,24,000 prophets. You have 1,24,000 prophets. If they are a rose, then the Ahlul Bayt are the essence of that rose. If you have 313 messengers, if they are a rose, then the Ahlul Bayt are the itra of that rose. They are the essence and the extract of that arose. And what do we mean when we say the words Sulala and Safwa? All the traits and all the attributes which were given to the prophets are present within the Ahlul Bayt at the utmost level, at the perfect level, at the epitome of those traits, at the pinnacle of those traits and attributes. Like, for example, when the Prophet of Islam would narrate about the knowledge of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, and the understanding of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, and the khullat of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and the munajat or the prayers of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, when he would speak about how Isa alayhi salam revived the dead, and when he would speak about the patience of Hazrat Ayyub alayhi salam, or the kingdom of Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam, when he would speak about the earlier prophets, the people would get confused and they would get perplexed that we know, we are hearing, we are listening about these things from the Prophet, but we do not understand what was the knowledge of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, what was the understanding of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, what was the khullat of Ibrahim alayhi salam, what were the prayers of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. The Prophet looked at their confusion, the Prophet looked at their state and said those famous words, Ala man arada an yanzura ila Adama fi ilmihi, wa ila Nuhan fi fahmihi, wa ila Ibrahima fi khullatihi, wa ila Musa fi munajatihi, wa ila Isa fi sihayatihi, wa ila Ayyuba fi sabrihi, falyanzur ila hadha rajul. The one who wants to see Adam in his ilm, and Nuh in his fahm or understanding, and Ibrahim in his khullat, and Musa in his prayers, and Ayyub in his patience, should look at this rajul. Should have a look at this rajul. And who was this rajul? Who was this man? This was none other than Amirul Mu'mineen, Imam al-Muttaqeen, Ghalib ala kulli ghalib, Sayyidi wa Mawlai Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wa This was what the Prophet was actually referring to, the fact that the knowledge of Adam reaches its peak in the form of Ali. The understanding of Nuh reaches its epitome in the form of Ali. The khullat of Ibrahim reaches its highest point in the form of Ali. All these traits, and this is again what we say in Zahratul Jamia, ma nazalat wa indakum ma nazalat bihi rasulu wa habatat bihi malaikatu, that O Ahlul Bayt, you have whatever was revealed on the prophets. You are in possession of whatever was revealed on the messengers, and whatever the angels brought down, you have each and everything. You have all those things with you. And this is again the ilm of Adam, the fahm of Nuh, the khullat of Musa, the manajat of Musa. Everything reaches its pinnacle in the form of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Why? Because he is the divine source of bounties, of blessings, of each and every bounty and blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not only for us, but also for Adam, but also for Nuh, but also for Ibrahim, for all the prophets of God, for each and every one of them. And the similar confusion is even today. Like, we are also listening about the knowledge of Adam alayhi salam, but we haven't seen the knowledge of Adam. We are also listening about the wisdom of Hazrat Luqman alayhi salam, but we haven't seen Hazrat Luqman alayhi salam. We are also listening about the khullat of Ibrahim alayhi salam, but we have also not seen the khullat of Ibrahim alayhi salam. We are also actually listening about the kingdom of Sulaiman alayhi salam, but we haven't seen the kingdom of Sulaiman alayhi salam. We are also in the same state of dilemma and perplexion as was the condition of the companions of the Rasulullah. They also heard about these things, but they could not see these things. So Rasulullah pointed towards Ali and said, ألا من أراد أن ينظر إلى آدم في علمه وإلى نوح في فهمه وإلى إبراهيم في خلته وإلى موسى في مناجاته وإلى عيسى في سحايته وإلى أيوب في صبره فلينظر إلى هذا الرجل. This was for Amir al-Mu'minin. But what about us? What about the state of the world today? And what about the generations which were born during the period of occultation? The people who were born in the period of occultation and who would continue to live in the period of occultation. What about them? What about their state? So see, Zarat al-Jami'. Again, Zarat al-Jami'. We refer to the Ahlul Bayt. The 14 are actually, in principle, in reality, these 14 are one. وَأَنَّ أَرْوَاحُكُمْ وَنُورَكُمْ وَطِينَتَكُمْ وَاحِدًا. I bear witness that your light is one, your souls are one, your teenat is one. This is what we are actually referring to, Zarate Jamia. We are also actually in the same state of a dilemma, in the same state of affliction. We also want to see the ilm of Adam, the fahm of Nuh, the khullat of Ibrahim, the kingdom of Sulaiman alayhi salam. We also want to see how did Hazrat Isa alayhi salam revive the dead and what were their state. We also want to see those things. So what about us? What about us? The narrations say, Kitab, in the book, the famous book Basair al-Darajat, you'll find this narration wherein it is mentioned that when the Imam of our time would appear, when the last and final Ali would appear, what would he do? He would face his back towards the Kaaba, he would lean towards the Kaaba, and he would look at the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and proclaim, Ya ma'ashir al-khalaiq, ala man arada an yandura ila Adama wa shaykh, faha anada Adamo wa shaykh, ala man arada an yandura ila Nuh wa Sam, faha anada Nuh وسام ألا من أراد أن ينظر إلى إبراهيم وإسماعيل فها أنا ذا إبراهيم وإسماعيل ألا من أراد أن ينظر إلى موسى ويوشع فها أنا ذا موسى ويوشع ألا من أراد أن ينظر إلى عيسى وشمعون فها أنا ذا عيسى وشمعون ألا من أراد أن ينظر إلى محمد وأمير المؤمنين فها أنا ذا محمد وأمير المؤمنين ألا من أراد أن ينظر إلى الحسن والحسين فها أنا ذا الحسن والحسين ألا من أراد أن ينظر إلى الأئمة من ولد الحسين فها أنا ذا الأئمة من ولد الحسين. صلوات محمد آل محمد. The Imam, as mentioned in Mukhtasar Basair al-Darajat, this entire sermon is mentioned there, that the Imam would lean towards the Kaaba, he would face his back towards the Kaaba and say, Oh, the creation, Ya ma'ashar al-khalaiq, oh, the creation of the Creator, Man arada an yandura ila Adama wa shaykh, the one who wants to see Adam and Shees should come and see me. Faha ana da Adamo wa shaykh, because I am Adam and I am Shees. The one who wants to see Nuh and Sam should come and see me. Why? Because ana faha ana da Nuhun wa Sam, because I am Nuh and Sam. The one who wants to see Ibrahim and Ismail should come and see me, because I am Ibrahim and Ismail. The one who wants to see Musa and Yusha should come and see me, because I am Musa and Yusha. The one who wants to see Isa and Shamun should come and see me, because I am Isa and Shamun. The one who wants to see Nabi and Ali should come and see me. Why? Because I am Muhammad and I am Ali. The one who wants to see Hassan and Hussein should come and see me. Faha ana zal Hassan wal Hussein, because I am Hassan and I am Hussein. The one who wants to see the Imams from the progeny of Hussein should come and see me, because I am the Imam from the progeny of Hussein. Salawat on Muhammad and Al Muhammad. This is actually the real meaning of Sulalatul Nabiyyin wa Safwatul Mursaleen. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam are the Sulala of the prophets and Safwa of the messengers. And then we move ahead in Zaratul Jamia. What do we say? Assalamu alaikum ya ahla bayt al-nubuwa wa mawdi' al-risala wa mukhtalaf al-malaika. As I said, mukhtalaf al-malaika, I'll be discussing, inshallah, I'll be discussing it tomorrow, inshallah. Mukhtalaf al-malaika would be for tomorrow, inshallah. For now, what do we say next? Wa mahabit al-wahi. Peace be upon the destination of revelation. وَمَّهَبَتَ الْوَحِي. Peace be upon the destination of revelation, of wahi. What is the meaning of wahi? We hear this term, we have heard this term n number of times. But what do we actually mean when we say wahi or revelation? What is the actual meaning of revelation? In reality, as per the dictionaries, as per the Arabic language, revelation or wahi is a sign between two people or two entities. It is actually a sign. For example, I might try to convince you, I might try to communicate to you something, but I am not using my words. And I am actually doing something so that you understand that what I am trying to convince, what I am trying to say. This is actually, in reality, this is wahi. It is a signal between the two. But in practical language, what does the wahi mean? The word wahi implies that this is a communication between the two. A full-fledged communication. A full-fledged communication. And as the glorious Quran says, Ma kana le basharun an yukallimahu Allahu illa wahya. There is no human being. There is no human being who can speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except through wahi. Allah communicates through wahi. Wahi is the medium of communication between the creator and the creation. And we find that this word wahi, the general perception is that wahi is the word which is used only for the communication between creator and creation. But we find that if we read the glorious Quran, we find that a wahi can even be between the creation and a creation. For example, if you read Surah Al-Maryam, you will find that Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam, when he was coming out of his mihrab, he saw his people and he said, فَأَوْحَى إِلَيْهِمْ أَن يُسَبِّحُوا بُكْرَةً وَعَشِيًّا. That Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salam looked at his people and revealed unto them. This was actually a wahi from Hazrat Zakaria to the people of Hazrat Zakaria, and revealed unto them to glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in morning as well as in the evening. Again, there is a misconception regarding wahi, that wahi is reserved only and only for the prophets of God. When we use this word wahi in relation to the Ahlul Bayt, then people say, you've committed a kufr. Why? Because wahi is reserved only and only for the prophets of God. If you read the glorious Quran, you will find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did a wahi for the earth. He revealed something for the heavens. For example, he says, وَأَوْحَى فِي سَمَاءٍ أَمْرَهَا وَأَوْحَى فِي كُلِّ سَمَاءٍ أَمْرَهَا. That Allah revealed for each and every heaven its commands. Hence, there was a revelation for the heavens as well. There is a wahi for the heavens and the skies. Similarly, there is a revelation for the earth, where Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا يَوْمَئِذٍ تُحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا وَإِنَّا Rabbika fa'awha laha. That on that day when the earth would tremble, there'll be great earthquakes, and then there'll be an insan, a human, questioning the earth, what has happened to you? And the earth would reveal out its secrets. And what secrets and news the earth would reveal out? Whatever was revealed to it by its Lord. Hence, there is a revelation for the earth as well. Similarly, you'll find that there is a revelation for animals and birds and insects as well. For example, the honeybee in Surah An-Nahl. وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ. Your Lord revealed unto the honey bird. There was a revelation for Nahl, the honey bird. They can accept, look at their status. They can accept a revelation for Nahl, for the honey bird, but they cannot accept the word revelation in the relationship to Muhammad and Ahl Muhammad. This is the level of animosity for the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. They cannot bear this word in relationship to the Ahlul Bayt, while they can bear it for a honeybee. And honeybee in reality, Nahl, what is in reality? One of the names of our Mawla and our Master and our Mawla. What is one of the names and titles of Amirul Mu'mineen is Amirun Nahl. Amirun Nahl. What does the word Nahl in actual meaning? Nahl refers to the honeybee. And the Shias are compared with the honeybee. Why? Because there are narrations to us which say that if the birds and the creatures in the heavens would have known what is hidden within a honeybee, they would not allow it to live. The relationship, the comparison and the parable of our Shias is similar to honeybee. If the people had known what is hidden in their hearts, they would not allow them to live. Similarly, Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam is called as Amirun Nahl. Similarly, we find that there is revelation for people who are not prophets as well. إِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَاكِ وَاصْطَفَاكِ عَلَى Nisa'il Alameen. The angel said to Hazrat Maryam Salamullah alayha that Inna Allah astafaki wa taharaki wa astafaki ala Nisa'il Alameen, that verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has selected you, has purified you, and has selected you over the women of all the creation. Hence, there is a wahi for Hazrat Maryam as well. Similarly, there is a wahi for the mother of Hazrat Musa. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ Musa. And we reveal to the mother of Musa. The mother of Musa is not a prophet of God, but she is having a revelation for her. For there is a wahi for her, for the mother of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. Similarly, there are n number of places where you will find that this word wahi has appeared. The word wahi has appeared. But when we are discussing for the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, we are saying that the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam are the destination of revelation. They are actually mahabbatul wahi, destination of revelation. What is that specific revelation that we are referring to? What is that specific wahi that we are referring to? Try and read. We continuously read in our prayers. We continuously recite in our prayers. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Oh Allah, keep us firm, keep us allow us and give us the guidance to remain steadfast on the straight path, on Sirat al-Mustaqim. What is the Sirat al-Mustaqim? Go and read the glorious Quran. What is the Sirat al-Mustaqim? The Quran says, "Fastamsik billadhi uhiya ilayka innaka ala sirat al-mustaqim." Attach yourselves to a specific revelation. And verily, this is the Sirat al-Mustaqim. This is the straight path. What is that revelation? Go and read Surah An-Najm, where the events of Mi'raj are described. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَهُوَ بِالْأُفُقِ الْأَعْلَى ثُمَّ دَنَا فَتَدَلَّى فَكَانَ قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى فَأَوْحَى إِلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى. When the Prophet was taken to the higher horizons, when he was taken for Mi'raj, and he reached a point which was قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى, at that moment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَوْحَى فَأَوْحَى إِلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى. We revealed to our servant whatever was supposed to be revealed. Whatever was supposed to be revealed. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim, the first verse. I need all your attention. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim, the first verse. Fastamsik billadhi uhiya ilayka innaka ala sirat al-mustaqim. The second verse. Fa'awha ila abdihi ma'awha. The third verse. If we want to understand sirat al-mustaqim, we must understand that wahi or that revelation. And if we have to understand that wahi and that revelation, we must understand the discourse which took place on the event of Miraj, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَأَوْحَى إِلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى. We revealed to our servant, to our abd, whatever was supposed to be revealed. We said, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how could we understand how could we understand that discourse, and how could we understand what conversation you had with your beloved prophet? How could we understand? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reply by saying, read this verse carefully. Everything is summed up in this verse. فَأَوْحَى إِلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى. We revealed and we did the wahi to our abd, to our servant, whatever was supposed to be revealed. فَأَوْحَى إِلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى. Mim alif zabar ma. We revealed mim alif zabar ma to our beloved. We revealed mim alif zabar ma. Mim alif zabar ma is the revelation. Mim alif zabar ma is that revelation which has mim alif zabar ma is the revelation which is summing up the entire discussion. That specific narration which leads us to the straight path. That specific and that particular revelation which leads us to the straight path. فَأَوْحَى إِلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ مَا أَوْحَى. We revealed to our abd. Mim alif zabar ma was revealed. Mim alif zabar ma was revealed. Look for that verse which contains mim alif zabar ma, and which is that verse? Ya ayyuhar rasul balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The Ahlul Bayt are Mahbatul Wahi, or the destination of revelation, of each and every revelation, whatever was revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now if we look at the glorious Quran, there are n number of things which were revealed. The prayer was revealed, the fasting was revealed, Hajj, Khums, Zakat, each and every ritual that we perform was revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This book itself was a revelation. Quran itself in its primary form, Quran itself is a wahi. And we are addressing the Ahlul Bayt as the destination of the revelation. Quran is wahi and the Ahlul Bayt are mahbatul wahi, the destination of the revelation. But if we look at the traditions of the Ahlul Bayt, was Quran the only thing that was revealed for the Ahlul Bayt? Was Quran the only thing that was revealed for the Ahlul Bayt? The answer is no. There were a few other things which were revealed for the Ahlul Bayt. For example, you will find an interesting narration mentioned by Agha Sayyid Mehdi Bahrul Ulum, rahimahullah. Bahrul Ulum means an ocean of knowledge. Sayyid Mehdi Bahrul Ulum, rahimahullah, narrates this incident. He says that once what happened, what else was revealed for the Ahlul Bayt? Mahabbatul Wahi, they are the destination of revelation. What else was revealed for them? He narrates that once Amir al-Mu'mineen entered his house and he heard Sayyida Zahra having a conversation with someone. But there was no one present in the house. Amir al-Mu'mineen knew. But for the sake of us, Amir al-Mu'mineen asked Janab Zahra, asked her, whom are you talking to? Janab Sayyida replied, I am talking to my brother. Amir al-Mu'mineen looked at him and said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted you a few brothers, but he took them back. Which is this brother that you are referring to? Janab Sayyidah replied, you know that when my father was taken for Mi'raj, for that heavenly ascension, and when he entered Jannah, the paradise, he saw there a tree, the tree of Tuba, and he saw a fruit which sprung from that tree. He saw that fruit and that tree. At that moment, a revelation was made on Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam. And Jibreel said to my father, "O Rasulullah, Allah has revealed that you must go forward, you must go ahead, and you must bring down this fruit, and you must cut it into two equal halves. Leave the first half here and take the other half with you on the earth." My father took the other half with him and brought it down along with him on the earth. That part of that heavenly fruit was nothing but a zarf where my noor was mazroof, where the noor of Sayyada was hidden. It was a zarf where the noor of Fatima was mazroof. Now try and understand the fact that what is actually happening. Quran is a wahi, a revelation. Our salat and siyam and hajj and zakat, each and everything, all these things are what? They are revelations. What was the mechanism of revelation? Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam would bring down each and everything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He brought down the Quran, he brought down salat, he brought down siyam, he brought down hajj, he brought down zakat, he brought down khums. Each and everything was brought down by Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam. Quran was brought down by Jibreel alayhi salam. That was the Quran, the revelation. But the Ahlul Bayt are the destination of the revelation. When it came for the center point of the Ahlul Bayt, or the pivotal of the Ahlul Bayt, Allah did not send it through Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam. How can Jibreel bear the noor of Fatima? How can Jibreel bear the noor of Sayyida Zahra? And also try to understand that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, when he was about to take Torah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he was asked to go to the mount of Tur. Moses or Musa alayhi salam went to Tur to take Torah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That was the status of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. But when it came to our Prophet, O our Prophet, you do not need to go anywhere. If you are in the mosque, the Quran would be revealed in the mosque. If you are in a house, the Quran would be revealed in that house. If you are in a battle, for example, the Quran would be revealed in that battle. O our beloved Prophet, you do not need to come to us to get the Quran. But when it came to the noor of Fatima, our beloved, come to Mi'raj to have the noor of Fatima. Salawat on Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Come to Mi'raj and have the noor of Sayyida Zahra salamullah alayha. But this is that half of that fruit which was taken down by the Prophet, which was brought down by the Prophet on the earth. What about the second half, which is still in the heavens, which is still in the paradise? What about it? So the narrations tell us, and Janab Sayyida is narrating about it, that Allah ordered that from that, the other part of that fruit, the remaining part of that fruit, He ordered that a sword should be made. A sword should be made out of it. Sayyida Zahra looked at Amirul Mu'mineen on the day of Uhud. When your sword broke, Allah named that sword as Zulfiqar. hand it over to Jibreel Amin. Jibreel took down that sword whilst calling out, La sayf illa Zulfiqar, wa la fata illa Ali. There is no sword but Zulfiqar, and there is no man but Ali. And Jibreel revealed with that sword. That sword was revealed on Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. That was the revelation for Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. But we must try to understand that that heavenly and that fruit of the paradise was initially divided into two halves. That fruit of paradise was initially divided into two halves. Who can compare Ali to Ali? Cannot be compared to anyone. No one can try to understand the status of our Mawla, of our Master Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. That heavenly fruit was initially divided into two halves. The first half also came to the house of Ali, and the second half eventually also came to the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Salawat on Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Hence, Mir Anis Allah Maqama once said, about referring to this very narration about Zulfiqar, he said, कहते हैं वक्त रज़्म निकलती थी जेब से, पैदाइश इस हुसाम की थी निस्फ सेब से. And similarly, Mirza Dabir Allah Maqama also said, when he said that since the origin of the Noor of Janab Zahara was also in the same place where Zulfiqar was present. Hence Mirza Dabir Allah Maqama said, Aqeel gar hai, if anyone is having even a little bit of intellect, Aqeel gar hai, to in do badi bala se bache. Aqeel gar hai, to in do badi bala se bache. Ali ki tegh se Zahra ki bad dua se bache. Salawat on Muhammad and Al. The Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam are the destination of the revelation. Amirul Mu'mineen also said in this famous sermon, which is mentioned in Nahjul Balagha, that I was the one who smelled the fragrance of revelation in its first place. I was present with Rasulullah in the cave of Hira when the first revelation and Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam came down. With that revelation, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. That very famous revelation, the first revelation of the glorious Quran. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam says, I was present there and I heard the Satan, I heard the Shaitan screaming out. I heard him and I was the one who saw that revelation coming down. And I could smell the fragrance of revelation. Why? Because the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam are the destination of the revelation. They are mahbatul wahi. Imam Hussain was nurtured in a house which was the destination of revelation. But what did this accursed ummah, the people of this accursed ummah, what did they do to a man who was nurtured in the house of revelation? What did they do to him? I have been asked to narrate specific masaib of the time when Sayyid al-Shuhada Abba Abdullah bids farewell to the people of his household. When Hussein enters his camps for the last time to bid farewell to the people of his household. And who were the people of the household? A few children, a few women who did not know what was about to happen to them after Hussein. The moment of bidding farewell of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein from the camp is such heart-wrenching that I do not, never ever I narrate that thing fully and completely. Why? Because although there are greater calamities and masaib before us, but this is something which I'm unable to narrate fully and completely. How Imam Hussain alayhi salam bid farewell to his household, I cannot narrate it fully and completely. Why? Because try imagining the fact that since morning, bodies after bodies are coming to that camp. The companions and the people of the family of Imam Hussein are martyred one by one. And the bodies are coming to these camps one by one. And each time a son would be martyred, the mother would cry and wail for his son. But that mother would be satisfied that yes, my son has died, but Hussein is alive. Whenever a brother would die and his body would reach the camps, the sister would know, she would cry for him, but she would, at the end, she would know that although my brother is died, but Imam Hussein is alive. Whenever a son would die, the mother would think, my son has died, but Hussein is alive. But the moment when Imam Hussein came to say Al-Wida, at that moment, the women of the household knew that this is the moment when Imam Hussein is also leaving us. And what was the condition of Sayyida Zainab at that moment? Sayyida Zainab would cry out, Mehlan, Mehlan, Yabna Zahra, oh the son of Fatima, wait and pause for a moment. Let Zainab see you once again. Let Zainab see you once again. A respected orator, senior orator narrates that there were 7 sisters of Imam Hussein alayhi salam with him on the day of Ashura, on that day. And when Imam Hussein bids farewell to them, what do? They encircle around him and they start crying out loud and they start wailing about Abu Abdullah Hussein. And I don't know how Hussein bids farewell to them. And eventually Sayyid al-Shuhada comes out of the camp. He looks at the battlefield. There is no one near Hussein. Hussein is there all alone. He looked at the fields. Aina Zuhair, Aina Saeed, Aina Habib, Aina Ali al-Akbar. And then he looks towards Farad. Aina Ya Akhi Abbas. All alone, Hussein is about to mount his horse for the last time. Hussein is about to mount his Zuljana for the last time. But Hussein is all alone. Earlier, what would happen? Ali Akbar, Abul Fazl would bring the Zuljana. Ali Akbar would help Sayyid al-Shuhada riding and mounting that horse. But at this moment, Hussein is all alone. Who would accompany Hussein and who would help him out? Mirza Dabir alallahu maqama says, Hussein jab ke chale baad do paharran ko न था कोई के जो था में रकाब तोसन को. हुसैन छिप के खड़े थे झुकाए गर्दन को. सकीना झाड़ रही थी एबा के दामन को. न आसरा था कोई शाह करबलाई को. फकत बहन ने किया था सवार भाई. अजरकुम अल्लाह, अजरकुम अल्लाह, जालकुम अल्लाह मिनल बाकीन, हसनल्लाहु लकुम अलजा. Allow me to narrate the rest Masa'ib in Urdu and I'll end the majlis. हुसैन अपनी बहन से रुखसत हो रहे हैं. कौन सी बहन? ज़ैनब जैसी बहन. ये कैसे भाई बहन है? चश्मे फलक ने न ज़ैनब जैसी बहन देखी है, न हुसैन जैसा भाई देखा है. खुदा जाने ज़ैनब ने हुसैन को कैसे अलविदा कहा, किस तरीके से रुखसत किया, किस तरीके से. रवायतें बताती जंग उहद में जब हजरत हमजा शहीद हुए और रसूलुल्लाह की पुफी जनाब सफिया हजरत हमजा की बहन को खबर मिली कि मेरा भाई मख्तल में इस तरीके से कत्ल किया गया है कि कलेजा निकाल दिया गया. जनाब सफिया बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाई, मख्तल की तरफ दौड़ते हुए आई. जब रसूल को पता चला ना कि बहन भाई के लाशें पे आ रही है, रसूल ने कहा जाओ जाके मेरी फूफी को रोको, कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि बहन भाई का लाशा इस हाल में देखे, कहीं ऐसा ना हो बहन भाई का लाशा इस हाल में देखे. दस्ते अदब जोड़ के कहूंगा या रसूल अल्लाह, ऐ बहन को भाई के जनाजे पे आने से रोकने वाले रसूल, जरा करबला के मैदान में आइए. 11 मुहर्रम को एक बहन है जो भाई के लाशे पे आ रही है और अजीब कैफियत है लाशे की कि बहन भाई को देखकर अजीब जुमला कह रही है और अजीब जुमला कहते हुए कह रही अंता अखी, अरे क्या तू ही मेरा भाई? अंता अखी, अजरकुम अल्लाह, अजरकुम अल्लाह. अजरकुम अल्लाह अंता अखी, क्या तू ही मेरा भाई है? ये सैयदा, ये शहजादी क्या कह रही थी? क्या ये जैनब जैसी बहन, इससे बड़े मसाइब इमाम हुसैन के क़यामत तक जाकिरीन खुतबा वाइजीन पढ़ते रहे, लेकिन इससे बड़े मसाइब नहीं हो सकते कि जैनब हुसैन की लाश पे आके कह रही है अंता अखी, अरे क्या तू ही मेरा भाई है? खुदा जाने इन मलाइन ने हुसैन के लाशे के साथ ऐसा क्या किया था कि जैनब अपने भाई के लाशे पे आके कह रही है अंता अखी, क्या तू ही मेरा? वो रवायत पढ़ चुका हूं कि जब 10 मलाइन ने हुसैन को पामाल किया था तो वो कह रहे थे कि जब हम हुसैन को पामाल कर रहे थे तो हुसैन की पसलियों के टूटने की आवाज हमें घोड़े की जीन से सुनाई दे रही। अंताखी, क्या तू ही? क्या हाल हो गया था लाशे का? जो हाल बाद शहादत हुसैन खयाम हुसैनी का हुआ, वही हाल बाद शहादत लाशे हुसैनी का हुआ। खैमों में कोई आया चादरें लूट के ले गया, कोई आया बिस्तर लूट के ले गया, कोई आया बालियां लूट के ले गया। जो हाल वहां था वही हाल यहाँ था। कोई आया हुसैन का मामा लूट के ले गया, कोई आया हुसैन की जरा लूट के ले गया, कोई आया पटका लूट के ले गया। आखिर में जमाल मलऊन आया, वो मलून कहता मुझे आने में देर हो गई, मैं हुसैन के लाशे पे आया, अब मामा लुट चुका था, जरा लुट चुकी थी, पटका लुट चुका था, कुछ भी लूटने को नहीं बचा था। अचानक मैंने देखा हुसैन के हाथों में एक अंगुष्तरी चमक रही थी। मैंने बहुत कोशिश की अंगुष्तरी को अंगुष्ठ मुबारक से निकालने की, मगर अंगुष्तरी नहीं निकली। वो मलून कहता मैंने खंजर निकाला, जमीन लर्जी, अर्श खुदा धर्राया, अजब ने फातिमा बैठ कर ओ जालिमो हया करो, ए जालिमो हया करो, मेरा बच्चा आपको दिलाओगा। अल्लाहुम्मा अज्जिल वजअलना रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंता समीउल अलीम। Sorry.